Nintendo has finally confirmed that the Switch's predecessor is going to be announced at the end of this fiscal year, and personally, I'm so excited. I've made a couple Switch 2 videos, a couple Switch rumor videos on this channel over the past year. By the way, it's almost been a full year of me uploading videos, which is wild to think about. I'm so excited for this news because the Nintendo Switch is by far my favorite and my most time put into a console of all time. I grew up with a DS and a Wii. That was the only thing that I had for years and years and years. I didn't even really get into mainstream console games until the Xbox One came out, because a couple of months before then I got a used Xbox 360. So really my entire childhood was dictated by Game Boy games, GameCube games, because those were backwards compatible on the Wii, whatever Wii games, and then whatever DS / eventually DSi 3DS games came out. I've put so many hours onto my Switch that I got an OLED and put almost just as many hours on that console. I love the Switch to death. I take it everywhere with me. Anytime I go on vacation, my girlfriend kind of hates it. I got her a Switch too, because that's how much I enjoy the console, so we could play games like Animal Crossing and things like that. But Nintendo has finally announced that we are going to be hearing about the Switch 2 basically before March of 2025. This fiscal year, I believe, ends then. Nintendo is pretty known for doing things by fiscal year. They made this announcement a couple days ago on the 6th of May that the predecessor of Nintendo will be talked about at the end of this fiscal year, but in June there's going to be a Nintendo Direct to talk about the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the back half of 2024. Now, they said in that tweet that there's really not going to be any mention of the Switch 2 at this presentation. I definitely expect them to hide things in the Direct, because Nintendo loves to be sneaky like that. But this is really the first time Nintendo themselves have really confirmed the Switch 2. I'm really excited. I like the way that they worded it too, that this next console is going to be the successor to the Nintendo Switch, which to me, it sounds like it's going to be another hybrid console that is going to basically be a Switch 2. Now, no one really knows. There are a ton of leaks on the internet right now, pretty much ever since this announcement. I can't say Japanese words, so forgive me. The president of Nintendo, Furukawa, ever since he made this tweet, there has just been a rampant amount of leaks, and I'm really not going to get into those because I just don't really care. I just want to know more about the Switch 2. Now, personally, I don't really think we're going to hear anything until either the very end of this year or very early 2025, just because it doesn't really make sense for them to make any big splash. Obviously, they're going to want people to purchase this console, and we, again, know nothing about it. So they're going to want to build up hype and build up pre-orders. But honestly, if we don't hear anything until spring of 2025, then the console itself probably isn't going to come out until 2026 or 2027, because Nintendo doesn't really announce things like a console to be released within the same year. Okay, now that I said that out loud, I looked it up, and it seems like the Switch was unveiled in 2016, which is pretty much the same year that it came out, or I guess it came out a year later in 2017. So really, I'm going to say they probably would give it at least 8 to 9 months after their announcement. And if we get it in March, that means that the console's probably going to come out around January. It would make sense for it to come out probably before December because of holiday sales. But I mean, Nintendo is really wild. They kind of do whatever they want. But this is so cool to me because that means that game devs pretty much have had their hands on the Switch 2 or are going to be getting their hands on the Switch 2 fairly soon. Big ones like Game Freak, for example, they probably already have a demo Switch 2, so that way they can kind of test their games, even though their games run like shit anyway. I don't know, man. I don't have much to say here. I'm just really excited. I mean, I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I love it. What I'm most excited for is to see what they've changed with the console. I know I said I was going to talk about rumors, but one of the biggest things is that they're going to be moving back to an LED screen or an LCD screen instead of the OLED, which, I mean, it is what it is. So many LCDs now look almost as good as OLED screens. I'm just hoping that this console is going to be at least as strong as a PlayStation 4, because really the Switch now is as strong as like an Xbox 360, and that even is up in the air sometimes. But I mean, with games like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which are just gorgeous on the console, or even third-party games like Monster Hunter Rise run really, really well on the current Switch. I'm excited to see what they do with new hardware. Probably my biggest question is if this console is going to be backwards compatible, because the Wii U was pretty much a failure. I think we can all agree there. Even if you like the console, it was not a good audience reaction that Nintendo could kind of grasp. So I wonder if this console, because the Switch itself is just so damn successful, if they're going to make it backwards compatible. There were obviously games that announced that were like released with the Switch that had released on Wii U, and they just kind of like repackaged and quote unquote updated to be on the Switch. But I really don't know what they're gonna do. I would not be surprised if at first there's just absolutely no way to play your old Switch games. I wonder if they're gonna have like a big brick dock again, or if they're gonna do something a little smaller this time. I'm just so curious. There's so much that they could do. The Switch is honestly such a cool and unique console that a successor has the chance to be just as cool and just as successful, or ends up being like the Wii U, and I hope it doesn't do that. I really can't take another 7 years of my Switch. I love this thing to death. I love my Switch. I say this thing like you can see that I'm holding my OLED. I love my OLED so much, and I love the Switch. I don't know. I'm kind of getting sick and tired of what games look like on there. Anyways, I'm going to post some articles in the description of this video so you can kind of catch up on the Switch 2 news. I've been a little out of it ever since my Dragon Ball video. I've been playing a lot of games and trying to catch up. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like on it. Let me know in the comment section below if you are excited for a Switch 2 or if you don't really care. Not a lot of people care about Nintendo. Totally fine by me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one later.